This is OwlUp, where learning happens in minutes, not hours. For a deeper journey, explore all our courses at owlup.co. Now, let's dive in. Welcome back to Chapter 3 of The Hidden Science of Exercise Magic. In this episode titled Flex Your Memory, Exercise and Cognitive Improvements, we're going to explore the fascinating link between physical activity and the enhancement of our memory. So, whether you're hitting the gym or taking a brisk walk, get ready to discover how moving your body can boost your brain power. Let's dive in. Right now, as you're listening, your next workout is quietly rewiring your brain. In one study, a single short bike ride boosted people's memory test scores minutes later. So the real question isn't, does exercise help my brain? It's, how much free brain power am I leaving unused? Think about the last time you couldn't find your keys or walked into a room and forgot why you were there. We tend to blame stress, age, or just being busy, but your brain's not simply slipping, it might be undertrained. While we obsess over productivity apps and nootropic supplements, the most powerful cognitive upgrade is hiding in something you already know how to do. Move your body. Not as punishment, not to burn off food, but as deliberate training for focus, recall, and mental stamina. Researchers now treat exercise sessions almost like targeted brain interventions, tweaking intensity and timing to sharpen different mental skills. The twist? You don't need marathon workouts. Even brief, well-placed bouts of movement can act like strategic tune-ups for your attention and memory throughout the day. Here's where it gets interesting. Scientists can now watch your brain respond to movement almost in real time. Within minutes of starting to move, blood flow to key regions climbs, and levels of chemical messengers tied to learning spike. Stick with it for weeks and months, and structural changes start to show up on brain scans. Areas involved in planning, self-control, and spatial memory subtly thicken or grow. This isn't just for elite athletes or gym regulars. Office workers, retirees, students cramming for exams, across wildly different lifestyles, consistent movement keeps showing up as a quiet cognitive multiplier. Here's where the story gets even stranger. Different kinds of movement seem to tune different mental dials. Moderate aerobic work, brisk walking, easy cycling, swimming, tends to be a generalist. Do it regularly and people score better on tasks that demand flexible thinking, juggling information, and shifting between ideas without getting stuck. In large population studies, those who accumulate around 150 minutes a week don't just age more slowly cognitively, they're also less likely to slide into mild cognitive impairment in the first place. Resistance training plays a more unexpected role. In older adults, adding just 2 strength sessions per week sharpened planning, error detection, and the ability to stay on track when distracted. That's the kind of mental control you rely on when you're trying to follow a complex recipe while answering a text and not burning dinner. Strength work also improves insulin sensitivity and reduces low-grade inflammation, 2 silent processes that, when neglected, quietly erode brain health over years. Then there's the acute effect, the 20 to 30 minutes right after you move. Young adults who cycle at a moderate clip perform better on immediate recall and learning tasks. Students who take movement breaks remember more from lectures. Older adults who walk before a challenging cognitive test show crisper performance than when they stay seated. Timing matters. Moving before demanding mental work seems to prime your circuits. Moving after can help consolidate what you just learned. Across age groups, the hippocampus, the brain region central to forming new memories, responds especially well to consistent movement. Long-term walking programs have literally increased its volume in late life, a structural change linked to better spatial memory and a slower trajectory toward dementia. Meanwhile, global reviews now estimate that a meaningful slice of dementia cases worldwide could be delayed or prevented if people simply met basic activity guidelines. One way to picture it, like a city that keeps upgrading its transit lines and side streets, an active brain becomes better at routing information efficiently, finding detours under pressure, and recovering quickly when something blocks the usual path. Think of your day as a series of cognitive chapters and match your movement to each one. Before deep focus work, a 10 to 15-minute brisk walk can set up sharper decision-making. Many professionals now treat that pre-meeting walk as part of the meeting itself. Students who pace the hallway or climb a few flights of stairs right before quizzes often report the material feeling more reachable, as if it's been pulled closer to the front of their mind. Older adults in community programs who pair twice-weekly strength classes with language learning tend to stick with both longer, suggesting that feeling mentally clearer makes new habits easier to sustain. Even creative fields are leaning in. Screenwriters and designers schedule walking drafts, reviewing ideas on foot, then sitting to edit. Night owls who lift weights after work often describe an easier transition into unwinding and sleep, as mental clutter fades with the last set. Just as a traveler stamps new pages in a passport with each journey, you can stamp different brain skills by rotating how and when you move through your week. Exercise's cognitive edge won't stay optional for long. As wearables quietly log heart rate, sleep, and reaction time, apps may suggest, take a 9-minute walk now to lock in what you just learned, the way a calendar nudges you to join a meeting. Workplaces could treat movement breaks like software updates, small pauses that keep mental systems stable. And in clinics, exercise plans may sit beside prescriptions, tuned to protect a very specific asset, your future recall of today. So instead of treating workouts as a separate health project, you can weave them into how you think, learn, and decide. A short walk can mark the border between tasks, like turning a page instead of rereading the same line. Over time, those tiny transitions stack, and your calendar starts to look less like a chore list and more like a training log for your future mind. To go deeper, here are 3 next steps. 1. Try a 20-minute memory walk workout today using the Couch to 5K app while listening to a brain training audio session from Brain HQ. This pairs aerobic exercise with targeted memory drills just like the episode described. 2. Pick up Spark, the revolutionary new science of exercise and the brain by John Rady, and read Chapter 1, then schedule 3 30-minute moderate-intensity workouts this week in your calendar, treating them as non-negotiable cognitive training sessions. 3. Install a tracker like Garmin Connect, Apple Fitness, or Strava, and set a weekly goal of at least 150 minutes of elevated heart rate activity. Then tag each session with a focus note, for example, Memory Boost, Learning Day, so you can review which workout patterns most improve your recall and concentration over the next month. This was OwlUp, your daily step forward. This series continues with more chapters on OwlUp.co. Visit OwlUp.co to access the complete course and continue your learning journey. See you there!